because you don't want the bulk of the fabric positioned here. It'll be really hard to maneuver. So you generally want, what you're doing is you're creating a seam allowance. When you put your needle down and you have a little bit of fabric hanging off to your right, it's called a seam allowance. And what that does is it's where the fabric catches the thread. So if you don't have a seam allowance, the stitch can't hold on to anything. Let's go ahead and let's start at the beginning, but let's position our presser foot so that the side of the foot just sits right on the edge of the fabric. That's a really easy way to guide yourself. And then, yep. And now what you're gonna do, step one is put your presser foot lifter down. There you go. With my right hand, I plant my needle with the hand wheel, and I always turn the hand wheel towards me. Now you've gone back up. So you want to keep moving the wheel towards you until the needle is planted all the way down. Now let's go ahead and take 3 stitches. So with a very light touch on the foot pedal, let's go 3 stitches forwards. 1, 2, 3. Okay, perfect. So press this button down, this is your reverse button, and only go 2 to 3 stitches backwards. Perfect. What you just did is back tacked, and that locks your stitches. So why don't you go ahead and stitch straight up until you come to about here. You want to stop right about there, and that's when we will stop, plant our needle, and pivot. Dylan, do you want to crank it twice so that you get 2 stitches? 1, and then on that next stitch, let's plant it. 2, planted, perfect. Now, lift your presser foot lifter and
pivot.
Go ahead and put your presser foot down. Perfect. Now, what you might want to do is plant it. Anytime you have a question with fabric, lift your presser foot up. And do your stretching. There you go. Do your stretching like that. Make sure you're on a straight line. And then when you're ready, put your presser foot down again and start again. Once we get a little closer, we're going to go ahead and walk it up to the corner. There you go. Now walk it twice. Give it 1 full rotation and 1 full rotation. There you go. Now lift your presser foot and pivot. Okay, so go ahead and put your presser foot down and start again. Excellent. Now I'm going to say slow down for a second. There you go. Plant your needle. Anytime you have to go over a new layer of fabric, it can really help if you just press that little piece of fabric down as your sewing machine reaches it, because sometimes the machine wants to kick it over like that, and we don't want that. So if you want to help your machine with your right hand as you're sewing, you can hold the fabric with your left hand, and with the right hand, just kind of guide it and hold it down. Does that feel okay? Perfect. And then if you could go up towards the end, walk it 2 or 3 more stitches and then do another backward stitch. Now go back 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3. Now you can come forward again 3 stitches, and you can either do that by walking it. 1, 2, 3. Anytime I reach an edge, I like to do it by hand because it gives me so much more control. Now lift your needle to the top by cranking the hand wheel towards you. Raise your presser foot. Perfect. Now go ahead and pull your piece out. And you want to give it, there you go. Can you go ahead and wobble your hand wheel about 4 times? Big turn, back and forth, back and forth. There you go. And it just released it. If you ever see multiple threads, just go ahead and wobble your hand wheel and it'll release from the bobbin case. And then you can just snip those. I would like you to go ahead and put one pin across each design line just to hold it in place. Perfect. You go straight down, you angle the pin, and you come back up, and you make sure that the ball is out of the way of your stitch line. I would like you to back tack at the beginning and the end of each straight line. And then I'd also like you to back tack at your fold point. And then I'd like you to come to the top, and I'd like you to back tack again. And I'd like you to snip your thread and start at the next one. First you're gonna plant your needle, and then you're gonna hold your thread.
And then go forward a bit.
3 stitches. And then back 3 stitches. And then when you get there, you're gonna back tack. There you go. Give it 3 stitches back. Perfect. Perfect. Back tack. Okay, so you have your threads hanging off. I like to snip my threads really nice and close to the fabric without snipping the fabric. Okay, so Dylan, do you want to fill up your utility roll?
And that goes in there.
Ta-da! Go ahead and roll it up.
And tie it off.
Yep. Ta-da! Thank you very much for doing our lesson with us. Thanks for giving sewing a try, and I wish you luck building your first prototype.